Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where it is absolutely roasting in the UK. This is the hottest ever May day ever. It is sweltering. I have my fan on in the background. I hope I won't completely pass out from the heat. I'm going to really try hard not to, because a little later than advertised, it is Rat Run Day. I've been doing this incredible series from Marty Sears on Wednesdays for years, literally years. But last week, you may have realised I've been away on a short trip over to County Mayo in Ireland. Incredible place. Playing an incredible golf course called Carne. Let me just show you. This is what I've been doing battle with. The weather over in Carne is not the same as the weather here in Surrey, but it was a very good time, but that is why I'm a bit late getting to Marty's latest Rat Run. The great thing about this is number Rat Run 38, Synchronicity. The great thing about doing this today is I'm going to get another Rat Run on Wednesday, so I'm going to get double Rat Run this week, I hope. Anyway, with this being Rat Run, we need to read the story, don't we? I'm just looking at my list of things to do. Should we do the story or should we do other things? Let me just mention a couple of other things while they're in my mind. We are streaming tonight. We are intending to stream despite the temperature. Last night was also the hottest ever night in weather recorded history. So in Surrey, it was 19 degrees centigrade overnight, which is, it's completely bonkers. But we are still going to try and stream tonight, 10 p.m. UK time. We're back in the Blueprints Mansion. We'd love to have your company if you're free. Also, a shout out to James, and James, whose husband over in Maine, I think, works a bit in Maine and a bit in New England, rescuing rats and other small creatures. So I think James has been sharing these videos with his husband, and apparently rats are lovely little companions. If any of you out there are thinking of fostering creatures like Finkz and Phinx, apparently it is a very good thing to do. But anyway, James, thank you for your email. It was very kind. Anyway, let's have a look at, let me just check you can see that on the screen. Okay, you nearly can, but I'm going to read it anyway. So let's see, what does it say? It says, "Congratulations, my friend. I'm not exactly sure what one is supposed to write in these things. Still, I know how much you've been looking forward to Zoe's arrival, and I'm certain you'll make a wonderful grandfather. I wanted to take this opportunity to apologize if I've seemed distant and preoccupied recently. As you know, I've had a great deal on my mind, not only trying to ensure that Experiment 39 unfolds as it needs to, but also working through the numerous challenges that arise at a larger scale. I realize this probably hasn't made me the easiest person to work with, and once all this is over, I hope things can perhaps return to some kind of normality. I thought Zoe might appreciate a little friend of her own, so I've included something appropriate for the occasion. All the best to you and the family, Elliot." And okay, so this is in a card congratulating. Oh goodness, I should know the protagonists' names by now, shouldn't I? But congratulating on the new arrival of granddaughter Elliot and the new baby. It's a new baby card, and you can see it there with that's a cuddly toy rat. That makes sense. Now let me just scroll. Well, let's scroll down, and we can have a look at the comments. Where can we buy that Finkz plushie? Well, let me tell you. The Simon Solved delayed, I see. Oh, there's so many comments. There's literally dozens of comments. But let me just segue into Marty's Rat Run merch. Can you see that on the screen? So there is special Rat Run merch. It's amazing. And do check it out. You can see I especially like the mugs and also the mouse mats. They're so lovely. Anyway, that's not what we're here to do. We're going to try the puzzle, and it's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty. That's what I meant to show you. But before we kick off, the only other thing I need to mention is birthdays. Now, I'm late with a couple of these because I've been away. I wasn't able to do the birthdays on the correct time. This one's for yesterday. Anna, your friend, is it Anastasia or Anastasia, wrote and said you enjoy watching. Well, thank you for watching, Anna, and I hope you had a great birthday yesterday. And I'm sorry these birthday wishes are a little slow in arriving. Crystal, down there in Melbourne, Australia, your sister Violet tells me you've both been watching the channel since 2020. Good grief. And it's both of your birthdays today. I'm guessing you're twins. That's a knowledge bomb for you. Yeah, well, I hope you have a great birthday, both, obviously, and I hope that the chocolate cake is very heavily iced. Gerrit, your girlfriend Christina, over there in Oslo, wanted to wish you a happy birthday yesterday. She says that you watch the channel to unwind after long days and that you deserve something special for your birthday. I'm not sure birthday wishes from me count as anything special, but Gerrit, I hope you had a great day yesterday, and I hope you got very heavily iced chocolate cake. Hannah, your partner Maxim wrote to me, telling me how you're incredibly smart and you haven't missed a video in years. That's extraordinary. Thank you for watching, Hannah. I hope you have a great birthday. I think you are today, actually, and I hope the chocolate cake is fine. Yanilla, I'm late with yours, though. You were Saturday, weren't you? I'm sorry. Your boyfriend Con wrote to me, and Con tells me that you're very smart also and getting better and better at sudoku. And that you hope one day to come to the UK and watch a live show. Well, we've only really done that once a year at Stratford-upon-Avon, so maybe we'll do it again this year, unless you work for GCHQ, when you may get to see something on Friday. Don't know if that's a secret. Oh, Maverick's flying over. Anyway, I think that's all the birthdays. I hope so. Anyway, should we do a bit of solving before I actually melt? Let's have a look. Rat Run number 38, Synchronicity by Marty Sears. What do we have to do? Let me just check that the puzzle is showing. It looks like it is. What do we have to do with this one? We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. The aim of the experiment. Finkz and Phinx must both reach different cupcakes by finding a path through the maze. The paths must not visit any cell more than once, cross themselves or each other, or pass through any thick maze walls. There is no space to move diagonally in this maze. Blackcurrants. If 2 digits are joined by a blackcurrant, one is double the other. So we've got a couple of blackcurrants there. So if this was a 2, this would either be 4 because 4 is double 2, or it would be 1 because 2 is double 1. One-way doors. A purple arrow always points to the smaller of the 2 digits it sits between, and may only be passed through in the direction it's pointing. So, okay, we understand that. And the test constraint today, this is the crucial thing. In this experiment, any 2 digits visited adjacently along a path must be different. Oh, I thought I was going to say must be different. They're always going to be different. Must be different parities. So one is odd and the other is even. And also have a difference of at least 5. Wow, okay, so that is sort of a German whisper combined with a parity line. So it's doing both jobs at once. So let's think about that. So if this was a 1, so let's say the path went like this. Let's say that was a 1. What does that mean? So this would be at least 5 different from 1. So in theory 6, 7, 8 or 9, but it would also have to be different parity to 1. So it would not be able to be 7 or 9. So I think it could be 6 or 8. And then this one would have to be lower than 5 again. So that one, I think that would have to be 3 actually. That's already quite, that's a very peculiar constraint you've come up with there, Marty. They are all the rules. They are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, the thing I absolutely love about Marty is, I mean, there are many things I love about Marty, but one of the things I love about Marty is that he is, I think, the embodiment of Cyrano de Bergerac when it comes to Sudoku. Because this man has more panache than any person has a right to have. And why do I say that? Well, look at this. It's ludicrous. You can bet your bottom dollar that this rat is not going to eat that cupcake, because it would be obviously fairly... It's completely trivial. That is weird. And also, I'll tell you what else is weird about this, is that rule set doesn't feel to me to be particularly, blockbuster-ish. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, if you'd said this is the rule, how much grid furniture, how many blackcurrants and red currants and other currants and things are we going to have in this grid, and one-way doors and speed cameras and video cameras, etc. are we going to have in the grid to create a unique solution? I would have said maybe about 40. We've got one domino, and another domino. 4 dominoes that are affected by additional rules. And apparently this is unique. It is and it's not even meant to be that hard. 3 stars out of 5. It is completely it's ludicrous. Okay, well that one... I was about to say something that isn't true. I was going to say that one can't go to that one because of the one-way door. But that's not true. It could absolutely go to this one. But it just can't go there through the one-way door. Let me just... There's no other rule, is there? Okay, I don't know what to do. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a list, if that's all right, to see what numbers can map to other numbers along a line. So if we had a 1, actually let's make it small. If we had a 1, what could that go to? And we sort of saw there was something going on when we did the example, didn't we? So that could go, I think, to 6 or 8. Has to be different parity, has to be at least 5 different. So 2, we need a digit that's at least 5 different, so 7 or 9. 3, we need a digit that's so 3 only goes to 8. I can see that. Because it's got to, if we think about German whispers, we know 3 only goes to 8 and 9, and then just eliminate the digit with the same parity. So 4 can only go to 9. And 4 and 9 do work because they are of different parity. They're exactly 5 different. 5, so 5 can't go on this line at all. Yeah, because if we put 5 on, the next digit needs to be 5 different at least. If we go down, we don't get any options. If we go up, we don't get any options. So that's just normal German whispers. 6 has to go to 1. It's a bit like 4. 7 has to go to 2. So 2 can go to 2 digits, but 7 can only go to 1 digit. Okay. 8 has to go to an odd digit, doesn't it? So 1 or 3. 9 has got to go to an even digit, so 2 or 4. So the only digits that can have 2 options, you can put a 1, a 2, an 8 or a 9 on the path. And they would have to have, they could have different digits on either side of them. Yeah, okay, so there is something happening here. Sorry, I know I'm stopped talking. My brain's probably only working at like 10% speed in this heat. I'm not sure really what that means, but what I'm interested in exploring is the fact that we can't, in this grid, ever make a diagonal move. So it feels to me like bishop's moves are going to be important. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, let's imagine a rat was here. Then, and let's say that we were told that this digit was on the rat's path. Then I think we could say something about this cell's contents relative to this cell's contents. What do I mean? What I mean is, let's say that this was an odd digit. Let's start with that. Let's say it's an odd digit. What's this going to be then? Well, that's going to have to be an odd digit as well, because it's on this path, and we know that the next step from this position is going to be either north, south, east, or west, or east even. Now that's going to change the bishop's colour, and it's also going to change the parity. Then to return, wherever we go from, say, this cell, we're going to go into one of these, which are going to be on this one's bishop's colour again. So we're always going to take an even number of steps to arrive on the same bishop's colour from a chess perspective as this cell. And therefore we're going to retain the parity, so we know that this would be odd. But I think we can go further than that, because we also know that from a German whispers perspective, let's imagine this was, I don't know, a 9. Then it's got high polarity. What do I mean by high polarity? I mean it's higher than 5. So I think this is also higher than 5. I think, sorry, I'm just trying to, let me just mull that for a moment. Yeah, this is really interesting. This is really interesting because let me just complete my thoughts. Yeah, this is also higher than 5, but by exactly the same argument as for the odd digits. We know that from here we're going to go to a different bishop's colour, because we're forced to, we can't go diagonally. And that different bishop's colour is going to be to a low number, because it's got to be at least 5 different from 9. The actual options are only 2 and 4, but if there wasn't the parity constraint, it would be 1, 2, 3, or 4. But then from here we're going to return to this bishop's colour. So we're going to return to a higher than 5 digit, because if you're looking at the digits 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then saying the next digit on the path has to be 5 different from 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're always going to skip to the higher side of 5. So this digit would be 7 or 9 in this instance. It doesn't work because it's on a black dot. But okay, what I'm seeing from this, right, let me just get rid of that for a second. Let's highlight these cells. Now what this tells, this is like a complete self-contained set of digits. What I mean by that is we always know that a 2 or a 4 is going to go to a 7 or a 9, and we know a 7 or a 9 is going to go to a 2 or a 4. So if we could prove that, say this rat was a 9, it can't be a 9, no, it can't be a 9 because of the inequality, but ignore the inequality, let's say that could be a 9, then we would know that every cell on this rat's path had to be a digit from 9, 2, 4, and 7, because you can't escape. It's like a self-contained set. Now, what that's made me realise, look at the others. They are also a this is weird. These are also a self-contained set, 1, 3, 6, and 8. In the sense that if you're on 1 or 3, you only go to 6 or 8, and if you're on 6 or 8, you only go to 1 or 3. So I'm now going to delete that, because I think I can understand that. And what I'm going to say is... don't know. It feels like... if that rat... well, let's look at this rat. That rat definitely does go along the bottom, doesn't it? Let's say that this is inks, which is I'm going to use blue for. So this is going to be pinks up here. So that's pinks. This is inks. Now, what are we then saying that we know? Yeah. Okay, so I'm now going to make an allegation, which I believe to be correct. This, what we've just done, tells us that this it's why this pinks doesn't go to this cupcake, because no, it's not. Well, no, it's indirectly is. It indirectly is, because this cupcake can't be Inks's cupcake. Why, I hear you say? Well, because we have just said that Inks's path either consists only of the digits 1, 3, 6 and 8, or only of the digits 2, 4, 7 and 9. So, if this was an Inks cell, how would you get to the cupcake? You've used those. You've used all of one set of digits. You've either used all of 1, 3, 6 and 8, or all of 2, 4, 7 and 9. So to get to this cell, having reached this cell and even gone a-wandering, you couldn't. You can't use either of those cells because you'd repeat a digit in the box. So this is the Inks. This is Inks. That must be the Inks cupcake, and this must be the Pinks cupcake, and this must be the Inks cupcake. And that's great because that forces this is beautiful. That forces Pinks to go there. So Pinks has to go there because she can't go down to the Inks cupcake. Oh, is this it? So is this some sort of synchronized movement? Is that what we're being shown here? Is this some sort of symmetric puzzle? I mean, that would be so beautiful if there's something about this rule set that just forces this path to say, be this. Couldn't do it. Lost my army. Say that. Imagine it was forced to do that. I could well believe it, actually, because you've only got 4 digits to play with. I know that digit is 1, 2, 8 or 9. So I know that digit is 1, 2, 8 or 9. And the only reason I know that is because this has to be one of those digits that we drew up that had 2 options to be next to it. So imagine this was 4. Just from a straightforward German whispers perspective, we know both of those cells are 9. That's not going to work. If this is 3, we know there's only one candidate to go next to it, which is 8. So you couldn't double 8 these cells. This is 1, 2, 8 or 9. And what's the bishop's colouring going on then? So that is the same bishop's colouring as this, as the cupcake. Or is it the inequality here? So this digit... this is complicated, isn't it? Sorry. I don't quite know how to do this, sorry. This digit, what's its nature? Does it have to have 2 neighbours? Yes, okay, that digit is also 1, 2, 8 or 9. So that must be the same logic because it's completely analogous up there. Why do I say that? I think it's right. That's because imagine that this was a 4. Well, let's use a better example. No, well, I don't want to. I want to use a digit here. Yeah, I want to use a digit that only has 1 neighbour. This would have to be that neighbour, wouldn't it? And then one of those 2 digits couldn't be different from this digit. So if this was 4, this would be 9, and we'd have to continue the path. We'd either go to a 9 here or a 9 here, because 4 only has 1 neighbour. So this digit also has, like this one, it has 2 neighbours. Now, so we're either going there. Well, this is really confusing. How am I meant to know? Is this obvious? I'm sure. I don't think it is, he says blandly. to coin a phrase from Minute Cryptic that I've just recorded. Oh. So, okay, hang on. So I do know something about this corner digit now. But yeah, I do actually. Yeah, because whatever this is, 1, 2, 8, or 9, this side of it is 1, 2, 8, or 9. What do I mean by that? Imagine this was 8. Then we know 8 is only surroundable with 1 and 3 in this puzzle. And this has to be a 1, therefore. So this would be a 3 in the corner. So if this is 8, that's 3, that's 1. If this is 9, that's 2, this is 4. If this is 2, 2 goes with 7 and 9. But we need... So this would be 7. And if this is 1, 1 goes with 6 and 8, and this would be 6. Oh, bobbins, no, that hasn't worked, actually. I'm sorry. Okay, but this has the same polarity as this. So if that's 2, that's 7, that's 9. Okay. Okay, here's a weird point. So whatever the polarity is of this digit, and we don't know at this point, it's either high polarity, by which I mean 8 or 9, or low polarity, 1 or 2. I'm talking about how it sits vis-a-vis 5. I know that this digit can't be A, and this digit can't be A, because of sudoku. And yet the next digit on the path after this one is of the same polarity as A. So, this is hard. Sorry, I don't feel my brain is quite getting this yet. So if that's 2, then we need a 4 polarity digit, but that feels very different. That would work. Wouldn't it actually? Would that work? I don't know. If this is 2, that's 7, that's 9, then I need to put a 4 here or here. Yeah, I think that's okay. If this is 1, then I have to put... Oh, I'm not sure. I think what I've said is true. So I think one of those digits is what I could call B, which is the digit that shares polarity and parity, for that matter, with this digit. So if this was 1, one of those would be 3 and would be on the path. If this is 2, one of these would be 4 and be on the path. If this is 8, one of these would be 6 and on the path. Okay, we can get rid of that one, maybe. But that implies by symmetry I should be able to get rid of 2, and I don't see why. Oh, maybe it doesn't, because of the inequality. No, I'm not sure. I don't think this can be 8. That's what I'm going to allege. Now, the reason for that is, by my logic, I think one of these has to be 6. Let's check that's true. 8 can only go next to 1 and 3 on the path, so we've got to do this. That doesn't count, so it doesn't get it. Now, this 1 can be next to either 6 or 8. Well, it can't be next to 8, so it has to be next to 6 in one of those two positions. But 6, we know, is monogamous along a German whispers line. It only ever partners the digit 1. So where am I putting the 1 next to a 6 in one of those positions on the path? If this is 6, I could put 1 in exactly none of those positions because of the inequality. They can't put the 1 here because the one-way door wouldn't allow this to be a 0. And if this is 6, again, the one-way... So I think this one-way door is being used by Marty to stop this being an 8, is my guess. So can we get rid of 9 here as well? So if this was 9, it would go 9, 2, 4, 7 in one of these positions. A 7 can only go next to 2, which would be here. So this digit would have to be that digit. Oh, hang on. Okay, that's really hard to see, in my opinion. I'm not even sure it's right. Hang on. Okay, I'm now thinking 9 here. I think that digit and that digit might be the same digit. Always. God, I mean, how to explain this? I'll try. So we know that this digit, whichever one of these, is the polarity equivalent of this, sits in one of those two cells. And the next digit on, obviously if this is a blue digit, there are no more blue digits possible in box 9. So we're going to have to go there as the next digit. Yeah, that's the way. In fact, that's the way to do it. Ah, that's so simple. I'm so stupid. I am just ludicrously stupid. I honestly, I break records for how stupid I am. It's so annoying. I don't like being stupid, and I've just been stupid. Right. What we're saying is, and this is the simple way of doing this, the next digit on this path is either here or here. But remember what we said. Any path in this puzzle only has 4 possible candidates. So if this is blue, we can't have the next digit in this box, so it's going to have to be that cell. And if this is blue, we can't continue along here because we've used all 4 digits in row 9 that are permissible on the path. So that is always the continuation of the path. And that logic must be symmetrical because I didn't use the inequality line to prove that point. So this must always be the continuation of the path. And that's on a black dot. That's going to do it. Right. It's the other. I think it's the other side we're going to have to check. But I just want to go further because I think this digit here, it is monogamous vis-a-vis the path. Because it's next to this neighbour. So if this is 2, for example, we know this will be 9. One of these will be 7, which needs a 2 next to it. So this digit and this digit are always counterparts. And now these definitely can't be 1. Now that is because of the inequality, but those are the same digit. Be good if this was a 2, wouldn't it? That would really be helpful. And this not being able to be 8 removes 3 from the corner. So this is 4, 6, or 7. But I suspect it's this one, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. It's not exactly. We know we've proved that these digits are the same. Now, so this is 1, 2, 8, or 9, and it's on a black dot, so it's not 9. So this isn't 9, which means this isn't 2. So this corner digit is the same options as the other one, 3, 4, 6, 7, and this not being 2 prevents this from being, as 2 is surrounded by 7 and 9. So this corner digit is 3, 4, 6. Oh, no, got it. I've got it. Right, that one. That's where we look. That's a cupcake. But I know its polarity now vis-a-vis 5. It's got to be greater than at least a 4. And it can't be 5 because it's on the path. So that is, I don't know what it is, but it's 6, 7, 8 or 9. But the point is it's high. So let's reverse this onto the Phinx path. Let's take the bishop's colour as the same. So that one, let me just double check that. That one has to be high. So this is not 1. So this is not 6. And this is not 8. And now we know this digit is now 1 or 2. So this digit is 1, 2 or 4 across the blackcurrant. We presumably, no. So this, we can't go from this cell into this position because these can't be 5 apart. So I don't really, let's see if I can show that with the thingy. That's not where the path goes. It was the ideal, the absolute ideal is there's some reason it has to go to that cell on the next blackcurrant. If it's gone there, how would that work? It's quite difficult, isn't it? I think it is quite difficult. Oh, well, I tell you what. Yes, no, it does go to there. Oh, Marty. Yes, it does. It's the same beautiful argument about 4s. For the set of 4 digits. Right. So imagine it didn't go here. Let's say it couldn't go here. What the problem with this is you're going to force this pink path to have 5 either in a row or a box. Let me show you. Let's say we went along here and we made this one the next digit. Well, then we're going here. If we can't go here, we have to go back to that cell and continue. But we can't go anywhere. We'll have used 4 digits in this box. And if we go to this cell as purple, and then this cell, then we have to go up here. And we can't go from there because this cell, we've used all 4 in that row. So we are going to the grey cell. We're going directly there. We're not passing go. So that digit, well, A, it's high, B, it's on a black dot, so it's not 7 or 9, it's 6 or 8. So the 6 and 8 are in the same, 6 and 8 are in the same path, aren't they? It's the 1, 3, 6, 8 path. This is it. That's it. Oh my, this is, I mean, I don't know how this gets 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty. I mean, honestly, is this very straightforward and I'm just being zugzwanged by the heat? I don't think this is very straightforward. What I can tell you is it's absolutely beautiful. Because this, going to here, has forced this path to have a 6 or an 8 cell on it. And we know that the digits 6 and 8 only partner up with the digits 1 and 3. So this path is made up only of the digits 1, 3, 6 and 8. And I'm just going to fill them in. 8 there. 3. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. So there is a 6 in one of those 2 cells. This is now a 2 by blackcurrant logic. Ooh. How could this be a 6? 6 would entail the next digit on the path being a 1. Okay, where are we putting that? None of those cells can be 1 by sudoku. That's got to be 8. So that's 8. That's 4. We can't cross that boundary. They are not 5 apart, and they don't work at all. So 8 is going into 1 or 3, remember? Well, that cell can't be 1 or 3, so it's got to be this one. So we're going there. That's the path. And then we're going into another 8 because 3 can't go next to 6. So that 8's got to be here. I mean, okay, maybe if the path suddenly just goes all the way down, That's why people have said this is an easy puzzle, but I don't think it's easy. I can't see the purple path, really. I'm going to just change Phinx's path to this, just so I can see it. Now, so the 8 here can go to a 1 or a 3. Now, which one of those does it go to? There's a 1 or a 3 in one of those two positions. That seems to me to be true. But I think what it would be well, what's this digit now? That can't be 7 or 9, so that's 6 or 8. Yeah. Now, it is obviously now true to say that this cell here, this blue cell, is selected from 2, 4, 7, 9. Because if this was also from the 1, 3, 6, 8 quadruple, how would you get to it? You'd need 2 of that type of digit in this box along with these 3. You can't do that. So this is 2, 4, 7, 9. Now where does that go? And that's got the same polarity as this digit. But we can get rid of options. So yeah, the Phinx's path can only be from 2, 4, 7, 9. So we can take 8 out. We can take 1 out. We can take 6 out. So now I've got a 2, 9 pair in the bottom row. And that's splendid. Probably. Is that? Oh, I suddenly thought maybe I could prove this wasn't a 2 by proving this wasn't a 1, but I can't actually. I don't know what to do then. So if this was 9, this would be 9, this would be 2, this would be 4, this would be 6 or 8. 6 or 8 is going to go next to a 1 or a 3 in one of those cells. But unless I'm being daft, I don't see how I know Phinx's polarity yet. Or parity for that matter, but how on earth is this going to solve from here? I mean, I've used my 2 blackcurrants. I've got 1 inequality here, 1 inequality there. I've got to deal with, oh, that can't be 2 anymore. Or maybe that can't be 4 for some weird reason. If it was 4, it would have to be next to 9. And then 9 would have to be next to 4 or 2. And this is the same polarity as that digit. That is mystifying, isn't it? Absolutely mystifying. I don't understand how I'm meant to be able to know the answer to these questions. No, I don't know. We'll do sudoku. 8, 3, 1. Oh, actually 8 is a bit restricted in this box. See, in this situation, there was a very distinct reason why we couldn't take the path into row 2, column 5. I don't think the same exists here with row 8, column 5. If that was a 9, why couldn't that? That would have to... Oh, it actually couldn't. That would be good. Right. Okay, so perhaps that's what the argument we're going to have to make. What we're going to do is consider where this digit goes for its next place on the path. Now, I think I can make an argument that says it doesn't go across the one-way door. Because to cross the one-way door, if this is a 2, that has to be a 1 by one-way by inequality logic. You can't go 2 to 1 along the path. If this is a 9, this has to be a 4, look, because it can't be a 2. And then where would you go from the 4? You'd have to go into a second 9. 4 is monogamous. It only goes with 9 along the whispers lines. So 9, 4, you can't put a 9 in any of those. That won't work. So this path does not cross that boundary. So does it have to go here is my question. Now I'm not sure. Okay, well let's say the path for inks went here. So it went like this. Again, it's the same logic we did up there. If we go down, we have to take 5 blues in a row. We can't do that. So we don't go to this one. If we go here and go up, we can't go here because that's going to be 5 in this box. So it does. It goes to there, and now this can't be 8 because 8 is not allowed. It's not part of the 2, 4, 7, 9 family, which means 8 is placed by Sudoku here. And now this is the blue digit that we go to after this cell. So this is either a 4 or a 7. It's different from this one. So let's just work that out. 4, 9, 2, 7, 2, or 7, 2, 9, 4, 9. Okay. Okay, does that help me? 1 is in one of those 3 cells. 1 is in one of those 3 cells. From here, where do we go? I mean, this is it's really difficult, isn't it? From this one, oh, because there was a blackcurrant. That's what prevented me from doing that move. But I don't have that luxury with Inks's path. Golly gosh, okay. Maybe this 8 needs to go into a 1. That would be perfect if that's true. Yeah, we can make that argument. Can this, the 8 we know is going into a 3 or a 1. Now, if it went into a 3, where would it do it? It would have to do it here. And then the next cell would be an 8 in one of those 3 positions, which it can't be by Sudoku. So the 8 goes into a 1, and by Sudoku that seems to have to be here. So that is a position. You have to earn these extensions of the path, don't you? Okay, so that 1, again, its next move is into one of those 3 positions, none of which can be 8. So it's going into a 6, but 6 is interesting because it has to be surrounded by double 1. Now, I feel like this is going to have to be a 1, but I am aware this one might be able to be. If we went... If we went 6 here, 1 here, I mean, that's not going to work. I appreciate fully that is not the most brilliant argument ever. I mean, I just can see we're going to run out of pink digits being in the correct places. Let me just mull this over and just let me think about this. How are we going to prove what this does? And why can't I do the polarity or parity of the other digit? That would feel very fair. Or the other path, I mean. I just don't think you can do this. But that's not a good reason, is it, Simon? Come on, use your brain. Oh dear, that is a fly. No, it's only a fly. That is, and it's flown off. So that was there were no wasp issues there. Okay, come on. How are we going to do this? I don't feel this can be 6. Because 6 would have to go into 1 here. Then we can't take any more cells in this row. So we've got to come down again into this cell. So you'd have to go 6, 1, 3, 8, sorry, 6, 1. Why did I want to... No, you can't do that. Then you'd have to go 6 again. Then you'd have to go 1 again, and there would be nowhere for it. I mean, it is quite complicated. Okay, but I think probably we are going to have to eliminate this gradually. So let's say, is the path continuation here? This would have to be high, so it would have to be 6. 6 only goes next to a 1, so we'd have to put the 1 there. Now we need a high digit, bearing in mind we've used all the purplification in row 3, so we can't go higher in the grid. We'll never get out, because we could never cross row 3 again. We can't go to these cells, so we have to go down into a 6, because we can't go into an 8. And now the next digit is a 1, and where are we putting that? Can't go in any of those cells. So we don't go up to a 6. So where do we go? Well, it's quite interesting. What that means, don't mock me, it means because we don't go to this cell next, we go to either this cell, which would have to be a 6, or this cell, which would have to be 6. So one of those, it's a bit like here. The continuation of the path is to a 6 in one of these two positions. Now, perhaps erroneously, I assumed we'd therefore have to go for a 1 here, because this 6 will be next to a 1 on 2 sides. Now, the only way that's not true is if we go up like that. But I don't think it's beyond the wit of man to see that this just doesn't work, because from here we have to go into 8 or 6. Bearing in mind that 6s always have to be followed by 1s, we can't go that way. If we go here, we haven't got any 1s for the 6. So we'd have to go up into an 8. Then we'd need a 3 as our next digit, which would have to be here. And then we need another 8, which doesn't work. I mean, it's complicated, but it just doesn't. You just can't go up over here. So we're going from a 6 in one of those two positions to a 1, which can't be here and can't be here. It can't be there. And we've shown it can't be there. So it must be there. So that is a 1. That is on the Phinx path. So this isn't a 1. One of those two cells is a 1. It could be sudoku. Maybe that's what I've got to think harder about. And then this thing. Somehow that's got to tie together with that thing. Oh dear, oh dear. So if this was a 6, 1 would be in one of those positions, and then you'd need an 8 actually in one of those positions, and then you'd need a 3, and then you'd need a second 8, wouldn't you? It's interesting as well in this puzzle. 3s and 7s have the sort of same quality as 4s and 6s because they only have one neighbour along their path. Actually, that's it. Oh, I'm so stupid again. I've done it again. I'm just insufferably stupid today. Right. Oh, no, okay. Well, what I'm going to tell you is that the next digit, the low digit that's next on the path besides this digit is not a 3. Because if either of those is a 3, firstly, it makes this an 8. And secondly, it says that the next digit after that 3 also has to be an 8. So if we went 8, 3, where would we put the 8? Couldn't go in either of those cells. If we went 8, 3, we certainly can't put an 8 there. So if I don't know whether this is 6 or 8, but I do know there is a 1 in one of those two cells. Now, well, okay, let's continue that frame of logic then. What would happen if this was an 8? Then you go for a 1 in one of these, and the next digit on the path would have to be a 6, but a 6 has to be surrounded by 2 1s on the path, and this one is not close enough. So because whether you went this way or this way, the next high digit would have to be the opposite of this. It wouldn't work if this is 8, because you'd have to have a 6 close to one of these 1s, and then you couldn't have a second one as well, so that is a 6. And that's beautiful, because that's finally given me the polarity of inks. Because this is now not 7, that's 4, which means this is 9, this is 2, that's 7. And this, which is the continuation, is I don't know what that is. Well, I know it's high, is what we do know. Probably, it can't be 7. Because 7 is monogamous and would need a 2 in one of those 3, and none of them can be a 2, so that is a 9. And we're going into a 4. Well, we're going into a 4 because we can't go into a 2, and the 4 is going to need another 9 next to it. So how are we doing that? We can't go this way because there's no blue digits available, so we're not going across that boundary. I mean, we could go here, I think. Oh, I tell you what, we can't go into a 4 up here because there's a 4 already in box 5. So we have to go to a 4 here, and then we have to go to a 9 here, and that's 2 more cells along the inks path. Okay, and let's do the inks path. This is controversial. In red. There we go. Now, though, I know what this cupcake's going to be just by Bishop's colour. Yep, it's this one. It's high. Oh, it doesn't get me it. It means it's 7 or 9. There's probably some analogous logic to what we did here that would tell me which one it was. Okay. It's still pretty extraordinary that this solves uniquely from here, frankly. Yeah. Where do we go from here? It sounds like Radiohead. We need to go into a 2 or a 4. That can't be a 2 or a 4 by Sudoku. That can't be a 2 or a 4 by Sudoku, so we have to go there into a 2. And that allows us to take the path forward again. And then we're going to go from here into a high digit, which is going to be one of those cells which has to be 7 or 9. So it's going to have to be a 7. And the 7 we know is going to be followed by a 2 because it is monogamous. So, bobbins. It's going to be the same as this one. One of those is going to be 7, and that's going to be a 2. That's what I'm predicting. But I think we might have to go through that same logic. Hang on, is this somehow symmetrical? Yeah, it is symmetrical at the moment. I don't know, more brilliant. Oh, this is a 2, so this is a 1 by inequality logic. So that's a 1. 1 is in one of those 2 cells. Now, come on, that must do so. Yeah, that gets me another 1 for my troubles. So the 6 needed a 1 on its path. So now, Phinx goes there, and now she needs a 6 or an 8. She can't have a 6 in either of those. So she's going to go to an 8 in one of those 2 positions. And then she's going to have to go to a 3 because she can't go to a 1. And then the 3 is going to need to go to a second 8. Yeah, that's important. That really is important because the 3 in theory could go to any of those positions, But we know 3 is monogamous along the path and needs a second 8. I mean, it's not desperately easy to see, is it? I mean, there are some ludicrous possibilities here. Like, if this was 8, then we've got to go into a 3. We can't go 3 here because then we go to an 8 in one of those. We're going to have to go to a 3 here. Now we can't put 8 in those, so we'd have to go 8 here. Then we'd have to go to 1 or 3 in this cell to get the path out. That's going to have to be a 3, and then you're going to get zugzwanged because you need another 8 there. But I mean, it's not that easy to see that, or at least not for me. So I don't think this can be 8. I just don't think it works. I think you have to go to 8 here. Now, what that unfortunately means is we don't know, at least I don't think we know, where the 3 is. I think it's in one of those positions. And the next digit is going to then be an 8. Which is going to have to be here, isn't it? That can't be 8 anymore. Yeah, it's one of those puzzles where I can imagine if you're doing it on your own, you sort of go, oh, well, yeah, I can see it's going to have to be there. But to actually prove it rigorously takes a little bit more time. And what are those digits then? 3 and 5? Apparently that's all going to get resolved. It's quite remarkable. It really is quite remarkable, this. 8 is in one of those two. Maybe I should be doing more sudoku. This is somewhat desperately. Oh, nearly. That nearly worked. 3 is in one of those 3. So 3 in box 5 is in one of those 2. And it would be great if I knew it was there, because that would be a 6. So 8, 3, this would be an 8. 8, 3 here. This would be an 8. You couldn't go to it. You couldn't go 3, 8 here. Because what would this digit be? It would have to be a 1, which it couldn't be. So I think this is always the 8 we're looking for. But what that doesn't mean is I know which of those is the 3 we're looking for. I just know that's on the path. And then we could, I mean, you could even say, but you could go from an 8 to a 1 here. Well, you couldn't, no, because that wouldn't work. Or you go to a 3 there. No, you couldn't, because then you'd have to go to another 8. So I think the path does close there. But there's an ambiguity here as to which of those is 3. And there's an ambiguity there as to which of those is 6. And probably there's some way I'm meant to know how to do that. I bet that can't be a 3, because then the path would be ambiguous. Because there would be a 3 here and the path could do that or that and work. So I suspect that's a 3 and that isn't. That's what I think all the case will be. But the logic has to take us in that direction without us using uniqueness on the path to know that that's the direction we take. No, 9 has to be there by sudoku, so that makes that 6, and that is on the Phinx path. Sorry, Phinx path. Okay, that was exciting. I'm trying to see whether Sudoku can be my friend again, but I don't think she's going to be my friend. She probably is my friend if I really focus, but I can't see what to do. I suspect I've got to work on the inks path from here. Well, we know we're going into 7 or 9 next, and we know we can't go into 9. So we are going into 7, which means when the next digit after that, we're going into 2. So, can we rule out that we go down into a 7 here? Then we'd have to go into a 2 here. So we couldn't go any further down because we've used all 4 blues in this row. So we're on a 2 in this position, and we've got to go into a high digit, which would have to be here and have to be 7. And then neither of those could be a 2. So that wouldn't work. I mean, it's complicated, but it doesn't work. So I don't think we're dropping down here as our next step. Which means we are going into a 7 in one of those cells. It's an appalling pencil mark, but forgive me. And we're going from there into a 2, which can't be here. It's going to have to be here, but let's prove it can't be here. If we go 7, 2, then the next digit is 7 or 9. So could it be a 7 here? No, because we couldn't get to a 2. Could it be a 7 here? No, because we couldn't get to a 2. Could it be a 9 here? Well, then if it was, we would need to go to a 4 and then a second 9, because that's what happens when you hit a 4, and you couldn't do that without breaking Sudoku. I mean, it's quite complicated, and no doubt it's quite complicated. So we are going to a 2 there, and that I can see is useful from the 7 that's in one of these positions. Now, that being a 2 has changed my positions for 8s. Look, so the 8's going to those 2. Now, does that do anything? Oh, I've got 8 8s in my grid, so I can get a 9th by putting an 8 here. Now, does that do anything? It means 3 is in one of those, 3 is in one of those, so 3 in column 9 is in one of these cells. We're in this cell here, and we've got to go to a high digit, which is going to be 7 or 9. It might be hard for it to be 7, because if it is 7, it's going to need another 2 again. So can it be 7? If it's 7 here, it can't get another 2. If it's 7 here, it can't get another 2. So it is going into 9, which can't be here. So it's going into 9 in one of those 2 cells. And then the 9 is going to need a 2 or a 4 next to it. Now, 2 can't go here or in any of these cells. So it's going to go into, it's going to go into a 4. It can't be that one, or the path would turn back on itself and couldn't get out. So that's going to be crucial. How could you go here? You couldn't, because then you can't get the path out. You're going to have to turn down, because you can't have a 4 in this row. So if this was the continuation, you go 2, 9, 4, you need a second 9 and there's nowhere to put it. So I think you've got to go 2, 9, and then a 4, which is going to have to be there, and then a 9, which is going to have to be there, a 7 that's going to have to be there, and a 2, because we can't put 4 in either of those positions, which is going to have to be there, and that gets us a 5. That is absolutely ridiculous. So it goes, I don't actually know, we know all of it as well, because I've got a 7 ambiguity there. But I have done a box, and very excitingly, I've got most of Inks's path just figured out. And I can write 2 by Sudoku into this cell. Let's double click 2s, maybe they'll be kind to us. Nope. Nope. I know there's a 7 in one of those. Right. So in this row, what do we need? 3, 4, 9. Where's 9 in row 2? It's got to be there. 9, 3. 3, 5. This isn't 3 anymore. This column needs 4, 5, 6. Where's 4 in this column? It's got to be there. This is a 5, 6 pair by Sudoku. 4 can go... Oh, 4 can just complete row 2. I apologise, I didn't see that. 4 is in this domino. 4 is in that domino. And we need 5, 6, 7 into box 1. Box 2, I should say. Sorry if I annoyed people with that. And I don't know now whether it's better to focus on Sudoku, which maybe is true. 5, 6, 7 there. 5, 6, 7 there. Or do we try and do more path logic? That's the question. And are these paths symmetric? No, they're not, are they? I don't think. Well, oh, hang on. Didn't this 8 have to go into a 3? Didn't we say that? Yeah, that's there now. Can't be here. So the 8 goes into a 3, and that is therefore very similar to the other side. That's just bizarre. This is just magical, isn't it? It's magical. Okay, let's try row 7. Oh, it's 5, 6, 7 again. Sorry. That's not useful. Although I've got 2 of 5, 6, 7 there. Let's try row 8. 3, 4, 9. Yeah, that's naked. That's got to be a 3. Right, that must do something. 3, this is a 4, 9 pair we can do. So 9 and 4 go into the grid. That isn't 9, look. This is a 4 by Sudoku, so that's a 1. That's a 1. And this box needs 3, 5, 6, 7. Or maybe we do... No, let's do column 1. That's 5 or... Oh, there's a 5, 6 pair in row something, row 4. So I need 2, 3, 7. So that's 3 or 7. These are 2, 3 or 7. Now we can probably do better. That can't be 3. And column 2 needs 3, 6, 7 to finish, I think. That can't be... let's deal with that in a moment. 3, 6, 7. This can't be a 7, because I know one of those has to be 7 for my inks path. And if that was 7, neither of those could be 7. So that's not 7. That's 3 or 6. And this digit... Well, let's do column 3. 3, 5, 7 again. 3, 5, 7. Now, how do we improve that then? Is that 5? See, that's 5, 6 or 7 again. Naughty puzzle. This digit is also 5. That's nearly done it. 6. Okay. That doesn't work. Yeah. This digit is going... If we just plot that for a moment, just make that green, and ask where it goes in this box. Where does it go? Well, I think it's got to go there. And I may be wrong, but I don't think that can be 6 anymore. Because I think that's going to put 2 greens there that are both 6. Let's just play that through. If that's 6, that's 6 by Sudoku. That's 6 by Sudoku. Where's 6 in box 3? There. Where's 6 in row 4? There. You get 2 6s in these boxes. So I don't think that's 6. So that is 3. 3, 7, 3. No, that's still okay. I thought I made an error, but no, that's still... I had 3 positions for 3 there, so that's still okay. 3, okay, 3, 7. That's now 5. So 5, 7, 3 here. I feel like we've done a lot. Oh, we've done a lot with 3s, and I get a 6 and a 5 there. So that's a 6. 5, 7 pair. This is a 6. So that's a 5. That's a 6. That's a 2. Come on. Please. Okay, let's try this row. We need 6 and 7. Yeah, we can do that. 6, 7, 4. Trusting my pencil marks, which is a ludicrous thing to do. That 2 is putting a 2 in the corner. That seems to be 5. That seems to be 7. This seems to be 7. Come on. Okay, so what's this digit? Is that's 5 or 6? Oh no, I'm going to get deadlified, am I? We got a deadly pattern that's going to be resolved by... Oh, I know what it's... Oh, it's gorgeous. Yes. Yes. This needs a 7 on its path, so it goes there. 7, 5. Oh, no, it's deadly. Hang on, I've made an error then. Unless... Oh, no, I'm still okay. Because although... This is unbelievable, Marty. It's unbelievable. And why is it unbelievable? Look, I seem to have another deadly pattern. Until I remember, I need a 6 to connect these up. So that's fixing that as well. How on earth does this exist? It's absolutely mental. So, I don't know. I might be wrong, but those paths are symmetrical. You can sort of see it from the gaps in them. How have you come up with this? That's it, absolutely. Oh, is it right? Let's please be right. Yes. Okay, and we get to... 825 people have solved this. Okay, experiment completed successfully. Test date 20th of May, 1975. Cells visited 32, although somehow the stats don't really feel very important anymore. Since the moment they met on Christmas Day, the two rats have been learning from each other and discovering more about themselves in the process. Finkz has gradually gained confidence, rediscovering the zest for life that was always somewhere within her, though perhaps difficult to reach at times. Finkz, with a PH, too, appears to have grown, as she has helped to guide her friend on this journey. Much like their movements in today's maze, their characters have become increasingly synchronized. It has been magical to witness, it certainly has. And now I believe we are just about ready. For what? For what, Marty? Oh my goodness, that was spectacularly brilliant. There have been especially this season 3, I think, has been filled with some absolute bangers, and that is right up there. That is an absolute worldie of a puzzle. Just utter genius. Utter genius. Loved it. And I apologise it's a bit late, and I get another one on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.